a textbook on C programming language. It is programming in ANSI C. Il Balgurswamy. The highest number of authors have written C programming book in computer science. If you look at minimum 100 number of students, faculty or resource person from industry, they have written books on C, more than 100. Some are local author, some are nationally, internationally. The authors which we have written over here, mostly national level players, where 2 books are internationally famous. Reference book, first 2, Godfred and Canning and Ritchie. But Balgurswamy is also a standard book. Any book on C programming, if you have, you can study, you will be able to learn. Absolutely, there is no, lot of differences are not there among the books, except one, Canning and Ritchie, the second reference book, which is really a little bit difficult to understand. So the first time learner, I will advise not to study the second book, second reference book, C programming language, Ritchie, Cunningham. I will advise not to read this book for the first time if you are learning C. If you are learning C programming language, after learning any other programming language, you can refer this book. Otherwise, rest of the books, be it Godfred, Kanetkar, and any other books, you can study, you will be able to understand. But we provide one standard book, E. Balgurswamy. And in my teaching, I may not exactly follow chapter-wise, page-wise, the book Balgurswamy. But whatever I discuss in my class, you'll be able to understand if you read any of the book. Little bit complicacy may be there to understand Canning and Ritchie. Other than that, any book you read, you'll be able to understand. Okay, then some exercise problem will solve from this Balgurswamy. This is the recommended book. Let me tell about the evaluation pattern, what I will follow in this C programming. You all know the grading systems in theory, laboratory, and some subjects. This is a laboratory subjects divided into 2 components for evaluation, 60 mark, 40 marks. 60 mark is made for the continuous evaluation. 40 mark is an end-term examination conducted in the lab itself. Unlike theory examinations, in the lab itself will conduct 40 mark examinations. The 60 mark continuous evaluation, myself and your technical assistants will evaluate you throughout the semesters. In the first 2 or 3 classes, we will not evaluate you, but 4th class onward, you will be evaluated. Your continuous evaluation marks will be assigned, so that at the end of the semester, 60 mark evaluation will be completed. And the 60 mark component has been divided into 2 parts. 30 marks class test and quizzes, mostly assignment I do not consider. I wrote it assignment, class test and quizzes, and mostly it is quizzes. 10 marks, I'll come to quizzes, is record marks, what you will submit and how to submit a record, that also I will tell after 4th classes. Do not submit any record on class 1, class 2. Don't submit any records. Record submission will be started after 4th class. Then continuous class performance will have a weightage of 20 marks. This 20 mark is distributed, if not in all, but periodically in few of the classes. In every day, Your technical assistants will see your performance in the lab, the execution of the programs, whether you are writing the program on your own or you are copying. And based upon that, they will be assigning some mark out of 2, 3, or 4. They will tell. So it's not that in a single day they will evaluate out of 20. They may distribute it in 5 number of classes, 6 number of classes, equally 3, 4 marks in every class. And every day in the continuous evaluation, they may not evaluate all students. Today, technical assistants may evaluate 10 students. In the next class, they may subsequently evaluate for another 10 students. Like this way, it will continue. And then 40-mark end semester examination, I will tell it when end semester comes. Right now, I'm not going to tell. Coming to this 30 marks, I will conduct 3 quizzes. You can note down also. Everything I have not written. I'll conduct 3 quizzes in Moodle. Every quiz consists of maximum 15 marks. I'll conduct 3 quizzes. Every quiz consists of 15 marks. If you add, comes out to be 45 marks. But I will consider the best 2 marks. I will take 3 quizzes. Each carries 15 marks. And best 2 quizzes mark I will consider. If you score 12, 12, 12 in 3 quizzes, your maximum mark will be 24. If you score 13, 13, 10, your maximum mark will be 26, like this. So if a student is missing 1 quiz, he can appear rest 2 to secure marks out of 30. He may also secure 30 out of 30 in the rest of the 2 quizzes. But the student who will miss 2 quizzes, he will lose at least 15 marks. At least 15 marks. The quiz which I will take, I will declare at least before 7 days. Then I will conduct it online. Those who will be in offline, they will be appearing it offline. And out of 3, I will consider 2. And if somebody misses 1, as I told, you are not going to lose any mark. Best 2 will be taken. If you do not appear in 2 of the quizzes, you lose at least 15 marks. So take seriously, try to appear all these 3 quizzes. Now, coming to record marks. Quiz securing good mark needs your sincerity, your preparedness. How do you study the subject? How do you understand in the class? Many things. But record is only sincerity. If you are sincere, you can submit a record after every 2, 3 classes, so that you will be able to secure 10 out of 10. And most of the students in the past, they secure 10 out of 10 in record marks. But if you do not submit it in time, you lose some marks. If you do not come to the class, you do not know when the records have to be submitted. If you do not submit it in the right time, you will lose some marks. Only sincerity will help you to secure 10 out of 10. Continuous class performance, 20 marks, also sincerity. If you are sincere in the class, whatever teacher is telling, you are writing program, even if you make some mistake, not that you will not get full mark in a continuous evaluation. Mistake may happen, but you are writing on your own with your understanding. If you write on your own with your understanding, with your logic, you may make a small mistake, but you get full mark in the continuous evaluation. Do remember this. If you do not understand and copy from somebody else, Even if the programs are working very nicely in the continuous evaluation, you may not get full mark because the technical assistants before assigning a mark will ask one or two questions related to that experiment. If you do not answer, and you will not be able to answer if you do not write on your own. A student cannot answer if he doesn't write on his or her own. If somebody writes by himself or herself, he will or she will definitely score 20 out of 20. So it's very easy to score 30 out of these 2 marks records on continuous performance. Then the last 40 marks again depends upon your knowledge, what you have acquired by studying this subject throughout the semesters. We'll conduct an examination. You have to write based upon some knowledge what you have acquired. So these 30 marks, you try to secure 30 out of 30, and that is possible if you attend all classes sincerely and do whatever advices the teacher or technical assistance is giving in the class. In 70 mark, I fully agree, understanding will be tested. Understanding will be tested in these 70 marks. One of my advice will be, we have 4 credit courses. Two of the courses, if you look at our syllabus, are 4 credits. Most of the courses are 3 credits. The 4 credit courses are only theoretical subject. Only theoretical subject. Listen it carefully. This is the only laboratory subject where we have a larger credit. We have a larger credit, 4 hours. And because it's a laboratory subject, you all know scoring good mark in laboratory subject is very easy than scoring higher mark in theory subject. You will all agree to me. Therefore, my sincere request will be to secure good marks in this subject. Not that I don't ask you to secure good marks in other subjects, but securing good marks in this subject will give a better CGPA and SGPA, both. Same if you compare 2 subjects, maybe C programming, chemistry lab, same percentage, same grade, but CGPA, SGPA will be more. Those who will secure better grade in C than chemistry lab. So my sincere advice will be, take it seriously from one perspective, securing better CGPA, better SGPA. Secondly, the second advantage is a very, very important for you all. If you look at the jobs in computer science, in the field of computer science, maybe branch from information technology, system engineering, or communication engineering, most of the jobs are there in the field of software engineering. In software, you must have heard of these two terms, software and hardware. Software, we basically deal with programming language, coding. These are the terms we use in a software engineering. If you learn any programming language properly, you can learn every other programming language within 7 days. It doesn't require more than 7 days to learn. But only prerequisite is you have to learn one programming language properly. If you do not learn a programming language properly, you will not be able to learn any other programming language properly. That's the relation between all programming languages. They are interrelated. Therefore, our engineering KIIT University, we float 3 programming language directly: C, C++, and Java. These are the 3 programming language which you will find out in the subsequent semesters as theory subjects, C++ and Java. Once you learn C, you will perform better in C++, directly proportional, and to some extent also directly proportional in Java. And another important point is both C++ and Java, these two theory subjects have practical components. So altogether, you will also secure better mark in practical of C++ and Java once you learn C properly. Direct relation. Indirectly, if I speak, most of the theoretical subjects which have a practical component, subjects like data structures, algorithm analysis, graphics, and tools and technique lab, those subjects, even if to some extent operating system also, those subjects we write programs using C programming language, means their laboratory component, laboratory experiments will be written using C programming language. Many more subjects are also there which I do not name right now. Could be compiler also. So all the which have a laboratory components, mostly a programming language is required, and we sometimes use the C programming language. So one thing, securing good mark. Second point, acquiring knowledge. You will not only gain knowledge in C programming. If you gain here, indirectly it will help you to gain knowledge in data structure, algorithm analysis, as I told, graphics, many more subjects, Java programming, C++ like this. So this has a big relation with many of the subjects. It is a prerequisite to many of the subjects which you will study throughout your engineering education. That is why being a faculty member of this course and being the director of this schools also, my advice will be take this paper seriously and sincerely and try to score more and try to gain a knowledge in these subjects also. This knowledge will help you in writing, coding, bigger application programs, all this it will help. Now, this advice I told for the learning of C programming language, how it helps in your engineering career. And after engineering career, you all know those who will be joining for coding will every time memorize the C programming, what we learned in the first semester. It will always help in futures. So that's the importance of the subjects, two aspects: scoring, gaining knowledge. Sometimes we study a subject, we forget immediately. Happens it because we feel it is no more required in future. And this is the many subjects are required, but this is the one of the important subject which is required for the students of schools of computer engineering. So take it seriously. If you, in my teaching, whenever you will have any doubt, you can switch on your audio and ask your doubts. Absolutely no problem. If I find immediately I should clarify, I'll clarify. If I feel this type of clarification is not to be given right now, in future, I'll delay the clarification sometimes. Because many of the terms comes in this when we start teaching in the first few classes, and which needs an understanding after learning few of the things. In that case, I may delay in clarifying your doubts or your, let's say, queries or anything related to this. So now this programming language, if I come to this, we have number of programming languages. But C programming language has brought a bigger change in the context of programming language. If you look at, before that, many languages were there, But when C came into market, it brought a lot of changes. Then rather than going for the programming language, let me discuss the criteria, the characteristics that must be satisfied while we write a program. Write down on your copy the characteristics of the properties. Do you have any doubts in this grading system? Have you understood it properly or not? Let me also take a view on that. If not, I can clarify. Grades I didn't tell because you are always acquainted with. Anybody can, any doubt? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very,
Yes.
very, very, very good. Now come back to this. So in this programming language, let me discuss the characteristics, the properties of a program when we write a program. We write a program to carry out a task. Agreed or not, anyone who has idea about what is a program. Program is written to carry out a task which is nothing but a set of instruction or set of statements. Primarily, a program means or consists of a set of instruction or statement to solve a problem. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Primarily,
Yes.
Subhash, is what we understand. I have also one advice. Any student feels his network is quite okay, may switch on the video also. But I do not make it mandatory. It is a purely optional. If you want, you may switch on your video. The advantage here is that sometimes looking at your face, I may also understand whether you have understood or not. Gives advantage to me. And other is we will get to know each other. But it's purely optional. If you feel, you may not switch on your audio also, video also. It's up to you. Now, coming back to this, when I say program, it should have set up. Just hold on for a moment. Hello. Hello. Now, program is nothing but a set of instruction to carry out a task or to solve a problem. But the question remains, just hold on for that. Now, mere a set of instruction may not be considered as a program unless and until it satisfies the following characteristics. Mere writing set of instruction may not be called as a programs. So what are those characteristics a program should have? Let me discuss one after another. The first characteristics is every program should have, must be accepting some inputs, and after the program gets executed, it should also give or display some outputs. So every program should have a non-empty set of inputs and must also be giving some outputs after its execution. If the program doesn't take any input, doesn't give any output, if neither of this is satisfied, neither it takes input nor gives output, it will not be considered as a program. Understood it? Input, let me explain what is the input, what is the output. If I want to find out the area of a circle, then the program must be supplied the value of the radius as input, yes or no? Even if I ask you to find out area of a circle, can I simply ask to find out area of a circle without giving the radius of the circle?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. I cannot. There is no point. So I must be giving the radius. If I ask you to find out perimeter of a rectangle, do I need to supply the input as length and breadth or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
If I
sir.
want to ask you to find out the distance covered by a body who goes with a uniform velocity, then I should tell the time period and velocity to find out the distance covered. So some are inputs, some must be outputs. Otherwise, this has no meaning over here. Oof. Just one. हाँ पढ़ता हूँ. वो मोटे क्लास रची टिके चार्टा पर आसंतु है मोटे क्लास रची है ला पढ़ता हूँ. Now, then, ये समझ में है? Do you understand this statement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next statement. Every statement must be definite in nature. Whatever instruction I write in a program, it should have a unique meaning. Definite means the statement should have a unique meaning, and every user, every human being must interpret the same meaning of the statements. If I write down a statement A equal to B plus C, and the value of B, let me say, is 2, value of C is 3. Then everyone understand the statement is nothing but B plus C assigns to A. When the statement gets executed, 2 will be added with 3 and the result of A will be 5. Is it understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I write a statement like this, where value of D is 4, don't you find the statement is a little bit ambiguous?
Sir.
If I write a statement A assigns to B plus C or D, can you tell what would be the value of A after computation of this? Tell me, are you getting some confusion with this? Yes or no?
A little bit, sir.
Little
Sir,
bit.
can
Very
you,
good. Very good.
what did you told? Can you repeat it again? I could not understand.
Yes, my question is, if I
Yes.
write a statement A assigns to B plus C or D, will everyone interpret the same meaning of the statement, or some people will do B plus C, some people will do B plus D also?
It's a bit confusing.
Sir,
Bit
since
Some
brackets
people-
haven't been defined over here, and we can take anyone which we want to interpret.
Yes.
So we'll have to use the
means-
bracket to
means-
interpret.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, means abhigya anidya. So there is a confusion in this statement. Everyone will interpret different meaning of the statements. Agreed or not?
Yes.
So means the
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
statements are ambiguous. So we should write unambiguous statements. Every user must interpret the same meaning once a statement is written. I can tell an ambiguous statement like this. Sometimes if you are traveling in a train, somebody may ask, seat hai kya? Hindi mein bol rahe hain. Seat hai kya? Is it ambiguous or not?
Yes, sir. It is
Yes,
because
it
there are
is.
reserved seat and there are
Yes.
non-reserved seats.
Seats are there. Seats कहाँ
Yes.
चला जाएगा? ट्रेन में तो seats है. But जो पूछ रहा है, पूछने का मतलब ये है whether somebody has occupied it or not.
Yes.
But he didn't ask in that way. Seat है क्या?
Clearly नहीं उन्होंने पूछा था,
Clearly
इसलिए वो
उन्होंने-
वहाँ पे confusion create हुआ.
Confusion. Seat तो है ही. अब क्या पूछ रहे हैं? नहीं, I was asking whether anyone has occupied this or not. But you should ask in that way. So my question here is, and somebody may ask a question, sir, खाना हुआ क्या? ये क्वेश्चन का भी कुछ ambiguous meaning होता है. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir. It is.
इसका मतलब कभी हो सकता है खाना प्रिपेयर हुआ कि नहीं, खाना हुआ कि नहीं, मतलब खाना खाया कि नहीं. So the question remains. So every statement should have a unique meaning. What when we write in a program, we should not write any ambiguous statements. Okay. So definiteness means the statement should have any statements what we are writing should have a definite meaning or unique meaning, and all should interpret the same meaning of the statements. Effectiveness. The statement what I write, what operation I write, and let me tell before that the difference between computing power of a computer, computing power of a human being. If some factorial is asked for 15, 16, a human being may take 1 hour, 2 hours to compute it. A computer may take only 1 minute to compute it. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir. Obviously.
Then, if I ask a floating point division, big floating point division, I may require 5 minutes to compute, where Aditya may require 4 minutes, computer may do it in 1 second. Agreed or not? That's the difference.
Yes, sir.
It's a very
I
fast
do.
device. But my question here is, can I give an operation which takes infinite time and computer can do it in a finite time? Infinite to a human being. If I do the computation, do the calculation with the help of a pen and paper in infinite time, can the computer do it in a finite time?
No, it cannot.
It cannot. If I do finite, computer can do finite, only time will be less. But if
Yes.
I, a human being, with the help of a pen and paper, takes in indefinite time, computer cannot do it in a finite time. Do remember this. So whatever instruction I write must be effective in nature, means I must be able to compute it. I must be able to find out the result in a finite amount of time period with the help of a pen and paper. If I can do, I must write in a program. If I cannot do, I must not write in a program. If I cannot do in a finite time, I must not ask this computer to do it in a finite time. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Effectiveness, every statement must be effective. And finally, every program must be completing its execution, must be terminating its execution in finite number of steps. I should not write infinite number of steps to complete my computation to carry out the results. So finiteness means every program should have infinite steps or finite steps.
Finite
Finite
steps.
step.
Finite.
The finite steps
Yes,
because
if it is finite, if it
yes.
is finite, and every step is computed in finite, total time will be finite or not?
Yes, sir.
Number of steps is finite. Every step requires finite time. The total computation will take finite or not? So my program should have all these 4 characteristics. Must take some input, must be giving some output, and every instruction must be definite. Every instruction must be effective, and the program should have finite number of steps. Is it understood? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So initially 1 or 2 classes, I may not discuss program. I'll discuss related to this, and then we'll enter to the programs. Okay, very nice. Then, so there is a close analogy between learning a language and learning a programming language. I'll come to this later on. Okay, but before that, let me tell. I want to write a program on a computer. How to write it? And what is my objective? Do I need to write a program, or I want to run a program on a computer? I want to execute a program on a computer. Do remember, our objective is to run or execute a program on a computer. But to run a program on a computer, we have to write it. So now, in a computer, there are some softwares, some programs are already there, which helps the user, starting from writing the program till the end of the execution. There are some software, some program which helps the user starting from writing till the end of the execution. Now let me discuss what are those softwares which will help us starting from writing till the end of the execution. Now, Avigya, if I ask you to write something, Avigya, without providing a pen and paper, can you write? Anyone?
No,
Suryansh
sir.
Priyadarshi, can you write
No,
if I
sir.
do
No,
not provide a
sir,
pen
but
and
I
paper
can
and ask?
actually, verbalize and give commands
No,
in
no,
verbal manner.
अभी computer में मत
No, sir,
that
I
what I'm
cannot.
asking. Suppose I will ask you to write something without giving a pen or paper. Can you write? हवा में लिख दोगे हम पढ़ लेंगे क्या?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It's not possible. So when I want to write,
No, sir, I cannot.
yes, I'm coming. When I want to write something on the computer, I must ask the computer to provide a pen and a paper so that I'll be able to write. An editor is a software which through which I will be getting a pen and a paper to write. And in a computer, the screen works as a paper and keyboard work as a pen cum eraser. Screen
That
work as a paper, keyboard work as a pen cum eraser. Both. 2 in 1. हमारा पेन इरेजर अलग है, but here keyboard will work as pen cum eraser. So first software is editor. The today technical assistants will tell some editor. There are many varieties of editors available.
sir, that's what it is called as IDE, na?
ID नहीं, editor. Okay.
IDE, sir, IDE.
नहीं ID something different. ID हार्ड डिस्क में बोलते हैं, मतलब वो अलग है, अभी बोलेंगे नहीं, ठीक है हेमंत, अभी छोड़ दो, ID छोड़ दो, ठीक है.
Okay, sir.
एडवांस हो गया फिर
I may forget 1 or 2. Why do you worry about this? Did I tell all?
No,
No, I told few. That's all. I told 4 or 5. If I leave 1, you take it. I add it. I don't. I'm saying all. So my point here is, these are the high-level languages, which are more or less the language which human being follows. High-level languages are more or less equivalent to the statements written in English-like language. But the low-level languages, which are really understood by the processor, understood by the machine directly, where we use mnemonics, a little bit difficult to understand. If I give an example, let's say between the mnemonics and high-level and low-level assembly level language, I can write down A equal to B plus C as a high-level programming language. When I want to write out in assembly level language, it could be ADD, A, B, C. Which is better to understand, option 1 or option 2?
Option 1.
Option 1. English-like language. But if I come to assembly level language, it is a little bit difficult and complicated to understand, remember also. Some machine use ADD for addition. In some machine, you'll find out they write A for AD for addition, and some machine they write PLUS for addition. Some machine write down A for addition. You have to remember all this. But
the second option is putting with much more constraints. Because of that, we will not be able to understand what it means actually.
Very good. That I wanted to tell. So we'll write programs in high-level language normally. And once we write programs in high-level languages, the next question arises. The machine doesn't understand high-level language. A assigns to B plus the machine doesn't understand. However, machine understands add A, B, C. Very easily, machine understands. So our understanding is high-level language, machine understanding is low-level language. But we wrote a program in high-level language and which we want to run it in a computer to understand low-level language. So there needs to be a translator, which we call as a compilers. This compiler will convert the program which are written in high-level language, maybe the source code. So with the help of editor, we write a high-level programs. My program has got a name. Then this system, computer will provide a compiler whose task is to convert this high-level language program to the machine code. The function of the compiler is to convert the high-level programming language statement to the corresponding machine codes. However, the compiler sometimes finds some difficulty. Compiler sometimes, let me tell something about this. Compiler, what happens? We have a source programs. We gave it to the compiler. Name could be a.src. A.src. The compiler normally converts it to a.obj. The compiler is supposed to convert the high-level source programs to the corresponding machine codes. Compiler has some limitations in converting source to machine code, some limitations. And because of the limitation, compiler will not be able to convert it to the exact machine codes. Let me tell an example this which will give a better understanding. Suppose you Abhigya Aditya, which state you belongs to?
सर
कहाँ से हो?
सर पटना से.
Patna से. Suppose Abhigya Aditya wrote a letter in Hindi. He wrote it in Hindi. He wants to send it to an English person. He has a friend in UK. He wants to send the letter written in Hindi to a UK person, not बिहार से हो जाके सेटल हुआ, ऐसा नहीं है, वो इंग्लैंड से है. Now you want to send the letter. Can you send the letter directly to an English person?
No,
No.
sir.
No. Very good. Very right. What you will do? Do not know English much. What you will do? You will definitely translate
yes.
A dot E English. A dot E I am writing English. But the point is, Abhigya, you have given to a translator. The translator doesn't have the English dictionary with him. वो कर रहा था वर्ड सब, इतने डिफिकल्ट वर्ड दे दिया तुमने हिंदी में ना, वो ट्रांसलेटर का मतलब दिमाग खराब हो गया. फ्यू वर्ड्स the translator found difficult to convert it to the corresponding English word because he didn't have the dictionary with him. May happen, yes or no?
Yes, sir, obviously होगा.
If it happens, now the letter what this translator prepared, ये जो translator ये जो letter prepare किया, most of the statements are in English, but few words are in Hindi, which he could not translate it to the corresponding English. So now this essay is neither in Hindi nor in English. It's a mixture of Hindi, English or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
इसका नाम
सर
क्या
ये किसी का काम नहीं आएगा.
किसी का काम पे नहीं
वेस्ट हो
आएगा.
गया.
इसका नाम
Yes,
क्या
sir.
दिया जाएगा? English. This letter is written in
English.
a language English.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
English.
very good. English. But in a computer language context, this English language is basically object language. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Object language is English.
कंप्यूटर सिर्फ बाइनरी समझ सकता है, ये
वो वाला
ऑब्जेक्ट हो
बात,
गया तो प्रॉब्लम हो गया उसके कारण.
वो हो गया English. So English is
Yes, sir.
name in computer language context is object language, which is a mixture of source and destination. Source is in Hindi and destination is in
English.
And this essay is a mixture of Hindi English, but most of the statements here are in Hindi or in English. इसमें काफी सारे स्टेटमेंट हिंदी में होगा, अंग्रेजी में होगा,
English.
इंग्लिश में होगा. अदरवाइज क्या ट्रांसलेटर है? Most of the statements. So we call this an object language. Most of the codes are in EXE. Except few. So we don't send it to English person also.
No, sir. नहीं होगा.
क्या करोगे फिर? क्या करोगे?
उसको सर फिर हमको ट्रांसफर करना पड़ेगा दूसरे ट्रांसलेटर के पास.
जिसका पास क्या होगा?
नॉलेज हो.
डिक्शनरी होगा. जिसका पास नॉलेज.
यस सर, जिसके पास नॉलेज हो.
डिक्शनरी हो. So what we'll do? So after preparing object files, there are a lot of object modules like dictionary who are to be linked together to prepare the exe file. Now we'll send it to a linker. This linker will link the dictionary, what I told, multiple object files to prepare a executable files, and which is basically the file which is the machine code can directly run by the machines. Understood up to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
हमारा पास, can you tell what software I need to have to write a program?
सर सॉफ्टवेयर हम लोग को एक चाहिए होगा, एडिटर.
Editor, very
Yes.
good. Next I need
Compiler.
then I need
लिंकर. सर एक चीज, लिंकर हमको जहां तक पता था वो आपका सिंगल स्टैक कर देता है.
अभी let me finish. You will not put those type of questions.
सर एक डाउट है सर.
हाँ पूछो थोड़ा.
सर हम लोग एडिटर से कंपाइलर के पास क्यों भेज रहे, सीधे लिंकर के पास क्यों नहीं भेज सकते?
हाँ ये वेरी गुड. ये लिंकर का पास डिक्शनरी है लेकिन इसका पास ग्रामर नहीं है. सौरभ समझ में आया? ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए क्या अभिज्ञ ने कुछ वर्ड भेजे और सेंटेंस भेजे?
सेंटेंस।
ग्रामर किसके पास है?
कंपाइलर के पास।
कंपाइलर।
डिक्शनरी किसके पास है?
लिंकर।
आप समझ में आया कि नहीं है?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
what about interpreters?
आएंगे आएंगे, मैं तो कुछ बोला नहीं इंटरप्रेटर के हमारे काहे वो चीज ला रहे हो इधर। बहुत सारे चीज है, मैंने बोला धीरे धीरे बताऊंगा, जो चीज बोल रहा हूँ उस पर डाउट पूछो, ठीक है? आएंगे इंटरप्रेटर, बात में आएंगे, अभी बोलने से कंफ्यूजन हो जाएंगे बहुत सारे। यहाँ तक समझ में आया? अभी का डोंट वरी, आई विल क्लैरिफाई योर डाउट्स, ओके? यू विल नेवर रेज द डाउट्स आफ्टर फ्यू सेंटेंस। नाउ दिस exe program is there in the disk of the computer, in the secondary memory of the disk. Any program we want to run it, the executable program must be brought to the main memory for executions. Before a program gets executed, it must be brought from disk to the main memory. Which program should be brought? Source program or exe program?
exe program.
Very good. Now
First
the
exe.
yes. Now exe program has been prepared by linker, but who will bring the exe program to disk to the main memory? It is a loader which basically brings the executable program. It basically loads the executable program from disk to the main memory for its executions. Okay?
Yes,
Understood or not? So who brings the program from disk to the main memory for its execution?
Linker.
Very good. No.
Loader.
Loader.
Oh, loader.
अरे लोडर नाम
Yes,
से पता चलता है, नाम से पता चलता है।
yes,
It's a
sir, yes,
loader,
sir.
it loads.
Load
It
कर
loads
रहा है,
disk to the main
load
memory.
कर रहा है.
Then program
Yes,
starts
yes.
its execution. Some execution.
Slip of tongue.
Now I'm coming. So what software broadly you need to starting from writing a program till the end of the executions? हाँ, बोलो कुछ क्या क्या लिखा तो है, पढ़ लो कम से कम।
सर एडिटर कंपाइलर लिंकर।
Editor, compiler, linker.
Now let me tell you. So some more softwares are also there, which I didn't discuss right now. Later I'll discuss in between. A macro processor is also there. But what I want to say, the softwares which are connected in a cascading fashion. Let me tell, cascading connection of softwares, one after another. Output of one becomes input of another. In such a situation, this cascading software can be combined together to a single software, which will do both the task of compiling and linking. Understood it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because user intervention is not there. So both compilation and linking can be done by a single software, which will do the translation and linking to prepare the executable models. So if softwares are connected in a cascading fashion, I can combine these two single software, which will take the input and give the output. Understood it, Abhigyan? Yes or no? Now your doubt, I think, possibly.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So these are the
सर
software.
मेरा मेन डाउट था लिंकर से रिलेटेड, क्योंकि
हाँ,
यहाँ
पूछो।
तक हम पढ़े थे खुद से सेल्फ स्टडी से, तो वहां तक से हमें पता है कि लिंकर आपका वो एक सिंगल फाइल को स्टैक करके वो आपको फिर आगे फॉरवर्ड
नहीं, वो
करता है।
छोड़ दो वो सब छोड़ दो, बात में पढ़ेंगे अभी ये तक
वो सब बाद में पढ़ेंगे।
Multiple object files are to be linked together to prepare the exe file. Why multiples are to be linked? I will tell in future. I'll tell.
Okay.
Why multiple object files are to be linked? I will tell it. Don't worry for this. ये समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Other than other students,
फिर से समझा दीजिए ना सर। सर मतलब सर जैसे ट्रांसलेटर, मतलब जो हमको ट्रांसलेट करना पड़ेगा सब चीजों को, इसके लिए आप ये एडिट, उसके लिए आप एडिटर
कंपाइलर किए, लिखना तो हमारा काम है। यूजिंग एडिटर आई रोट माय प्रोग्राम।
ओके, एंड उसके बाद वो लिंक, मतलब वो
कंपाइल करना पड़ेगा। आई विल कंपाइल इट टू प्रिपेयर द ऑब्जेक्ट मॉड्यूल्स।
और सर उसका लिंकर,
हाँ बोलो।
उसका लिंकर का क्या काम है, फिर से बोलेंगे? लिंकर
the linker will link multiple object files to the exe files. सर लिंकर का जरूरत ही होगा, क्योंकि कंपाइलर ऐसी चीज है। मैं एक चीज बोलता हूँ, ओके, मैं लेट मी टेल, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम देयर। क्वेश्चन पूछे तो फिर जवाब देना पड़ेगा, ऐसे ही भटकने से कोई फायदा नहीं होगा, बोलिए. Let me say there are two source program P1 and P2. This should be converted to .obj. This should be converted to obj. Then this refers few code from here. This refers P1 refers few code from which program? अभी क्या program?
P2 sir.
P2 sir.
अब बोलो तुम लोग, अब बोलो. And once OBJ is prepared, then one OBJ may link to few of the OBJ programs to prepare the X. Now, yes, some Gauss students was asking the question. I don't remember it. Can you ask if you have done now? कोई पूछ रहा था? नहीं, ठीक है. घर में डिस्टर्बेंस होगा. इसीलिए यहाँ से क्या पता चला? चाहिए कि नहीं लिंकर?
चाहिए.
होगा क्या?
चाहिए.
सपोज अगेन समझ में नहीं आया क्या? मतलब ये बात ऐसी है कि ऐसी बोल रहा था कि मैंने व्हाट आई वाज टेलिंग, आई मस्ट गेट ओबीजे फॉर P1. अरे यस और नो?
यस सर. चाहिए.
चाहिए. यहाँ से पता क्या चल रहा है? हम तो इसका तो ओबीजे सर बना लेंगे. इसका EXE करने के लिए कौन सा ओबीजे फॉलो करेगा? व्हिच ओबीजे इट शुड फॉलो?
P2 sir. P2 sir. P2.
For P2 OBJ, we must prepare it or not?
Yes sir. Yes sir. We'll have to.
We'll have to. So वो चीज बात में बहुत समझ में आ जाएगा. ओके, अभी बोलने से इधर रह जाएंगे, आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे. ठीक है. Now, next, very interesting.
Communicate in English, sir.
अच्छा, now very interesting things.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, are you Bishwajit Sahu, sir?
Yes.
Sir, I have got actually to CSC batch got saying that today will be class.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
But we are offline and now we have orientation.
नहीं. What time you have orientation?
Now, right now, from 4.
What is the time right now? For now, you can leave. In that case, tomorrow I'll discuss if necessary. Okay, you can leave.
Sir, do we have classes CSC batch, computer science and communication?
Let me tell. I have.
We are offline students, not online.
I gave notice to everyone, online, offline, today and tomorrow class. It's a combined class to attend it. Now, if you have orientation, you go there. Okay, I'll adjust it. Okay.
Sir, for the attendance?
Sir, tomorrow also we have orientation, sir.
What time?
Sir, from 4:30.
Sir, tomorrow we have to report at 4:30, sir.
Up to 4:30 I will teach. Then you will go and report. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Or you can wait for another 10-15 minutes. Then you can go. Will it be okay? अरे कोई बोल नहीं रहा है, कुछ बोलो तो सही. 15 minutes. Can I take 15 minutes of yours? अरे भाई कुछ तो बोलो. मैंने very difficult to. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir. Affordable.
Let me tell for 15 minutes. Then you can leave if you want. Otherwise, those who will be there will do some learning today. Okay. Now look at this. We want to learn C programming language. Learning C programming language is same, not same. The steps what we follow to learn a C programming language is same as what step we have followed in learning our mother languages, Odia, English, Hindi, Urdu, Sanskrit, like this. Same procedures. There is no difference procedure available to learn a programming language as compared to English language or Hindi language. And if we follow the same programming language, If we follow the same programming, same methods, possibly it will become much easier for us to learn C programming language. And let me tell you here with example how learning C programming language is much easier, which can be finished within 15 classes as compared to learning any other language which may require 1500 classes. I'll tell it. Now tell me, let's compare with the English language. What do you learn to learn English language fast?
So first the alphabets.
Very good. Very good. In C
After
programming
that,
language,
yes.
wait. We'll go for. If I learn alphabets in English language, Odia language, let's say like this, in C programming language, we also learn alphabets with some special symbols. And alphabets what are used in C language are more or less same as English language. Same capital ABCD, small ABCD, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus minus, same. Except few special symbols, which I will tell. 10 to 15 special symbols are being used. Other than this, rest of the symbols what we use or alphabets we use in English, we also use in C programming language. So does it require a long time to learn if the same alphabets are being used? Is it tokens? How many words are there in English language? How many of you can claim?
Infinite.
Not infinite, maybe 30,000 or more than that.
There are infinite words.
Not infinite, maybe more than 30,000 seems to be infinite to us. You have been reading English, speaking in English, and writing in English for last 10 years. How many of you can tell you know 50% of the English words? Hardly anyone. Hardly anyone. Agree to me, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Agree to me. All must be agreed to me. You have been reading, writing, and speaking in English. But in a computer language, to learn the tokens, I need maximum 1 hour. 30, 40 tokens are there, not more than that. If you look at the number of words in a programming language, it will not be more than 50, 40. And those words, tokens, we have also used in English language. Many of the words, except few words. So it will not be very difficult to understand the tokens in C programming language. Procedure is there. Introduction,
like informal letter and formal letter.
Introduction, description, conclusion is there. But the content varies from essay to essay or not.
Yes, sir, they do.
So writing an essay is basically an art. The more you practice, the more you will learn. Here also, a writing program is basically an art. The more you write, more you will learn. By reading hundreds program will not help you unless and until you write program on your own. It's basically an art. So our approach will be, we will study more or less 90% of the alphabets. We start studying 10-20% tokens, start writing statements, and start writing simple programs using those statements. Gradually go on learning new tokens, new sentences, writing big programs, and will complete learning the programs. I have a question here. Why do I say you will realize forever? Do you think a teacher is required to make you learn programs? or a programming language, or it's
It will
additional?
help us learn faster because they have the knowledge, and we'll have to self-study,
let
so
me
that
tell,
will take a
let me
longer
tell,
time.
let me tell. Learning a programming language program is same as swimming in a river. Many of you must be from rural backgrounds, and sorry, most of you from urban, and few are from rural backgrounds. Your friends might be in rural background, your friends might be in urban. Urban students always learn swimming with the help of a swimming pool. When you go to the swimming pool, you buy all dress codes. There is a coach available who gives training before entering to the water. 2-3 classes he must have taken. And you will learn swimming where the depth of the water is only 3 feet and your height is 5 feet. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Ask your friends who have come from rural background like us. We have never learned this swimming with the help of a swimming teacher or trainer. No trainer has taught us swimming.
Me too, sir.
Yes, very good. And you will not find out the dress code what you used to wear during swimming. We have our dress, not that many. Okay,
Minimum amount.
Whatever we have, and we'll learn it. And today, bring all your urban fellow mates who learn swimming. Ask them, this is a sea, a river. Can you get into this? No one will dare to get into this. Agreed or not?
Totally agreed.
Bring a fellow from the village. Ask him to get into the water. He can enter. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How did he learn swimming without a trainer?
Curiousness.
Curiosity.
Practice.
Practice himself and
A
practice
programming
obviously.
language needs a practice. If you have a book, you can start writing program, and practice will help you a perfect programmer, perfect coder than any good teachers. You ask any teacher, any coder, have you learned it from a teacher or on your own? What is your name? What is your name? I can catch hold of you. This type of behavior is not accepted. There are students, they are asking when they don't understand also. See the behavior. Learn from them how they're asking. Now, what I'm telling, once you want to be a good programmer, your participation in learning is more than a teacher participation. So practice will make a better coder than learning from any best teachers. You attend swimming class 100 numbers, 100 days. Every day you attend some theoretical classes of swimming. Can you get into the water in 101 day?
No, sir. So self-study is already important. So
self-study in programming language is very, very important. I'm telling you. There's no rocket science is there in the programming language. Only your effort will make you a perfect coder. That's my advice today. So before we enter to a programming language, and next day I'll start from learning alphabets. I'll start from these alphabets, then tokens and statements and programs will go gradually. In first 3-4 classes, I may not enter to the program. I'll give some introduction to tokens, alphabet statements, then we'll enter the program after 3-4 classes. So with this now, today I'll ask my technical assistants, Basu Aksha. Okay, now anyone who has
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Basu, anyone who has welcome or orientation can now move to that place. Others can enter to their breakout room as I have given earlier. In the breakout room, the technical assistants, Basu breakout room kar diyo.
Sir.
The breakout room technical assistants will teach you how to write a program without understanding much about the program. How to write a program, how to compile it and run it. A small program, they will tell. How to write, compile and run. With some commands, they will teach you the commands which you will be using to create a small directory. Under that, how to write files, how to compile and run without understanding much about why I have written a program like this, without understanding. Once you are accustomed with this, Then I'll discuss the programming languages very details and we'll go on writing programs. So with this, I may not be able to enter to your breakout room today. If possible, I'll also enter sometimes. Now you enter to your breakout rooms. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
P1.c ओके, तो यहाँ पर मुझे कुछ चेंज करना, सपोज हेलो वर्ल्ड, कुछ भी चेंज किया सेव करना पड़ेगा, सेव एंड क्लोज। हाँ, एक बात याद रख लो, अगर प्रोग्राम में कुछ मॉडिफाई किया तो आपको दोबारा कंपाइल करना पड़ेगा। कंपाइल के लिए क्या, जीसीसी
p1.
हाँ, फाइल नेम जो होगा, मैंने दे दिया p1, अगर आप दे दिया डेमो1, कुछ भी दे दो p1.c। ओके, फिर फाइनली रन करने के लिए क्या लिखना पड़ेगा, डॉट स्लैश क्या,
A dot out.
a डॉट आउट। ओके, तो वो क्या डिस्प्ले करेगा, सिर्फ हेलो दिखाएगा कि हेलो वर्ल्ड
Hello
दिखाएगा?
world.
हाँ, बिकॉज वी मॉडिफाई द प्रोग्राम। कॉपी में लिखो, फॉर क्रिएटिंग एंड एडिटिंग फाइल कमांड इज gedit स्पेस फाइल नेम। फर्स्ट पॉइंट, for creating and editing program the command is gedit, syntax gedit space file name. Step 2, for compiling program command is gcc space file name, gedit then gcc. For execution command is dot slash a dot out. The only three command we have to remember for our throughout the classes. Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सबको समझ में आया ना? अभी तक किसको डाउट है?
No, sir.
डाउट है तो बोलो।
सर एक डाउट है, ये हम
बोलो।
लोग डॉट स्लैश ए डॉट आउट कर रहे हैं, तो वो सिर्फ आपका ये p1.c को क्यों आउटपुट कर रहा है? अगर हम लोग कोई और दो, जैसे कि हम लोग दो प्रोग्राम वहाँ पे कंपाइल करते हैं, तो फिर वो आपका फिर कैसे वो डिफाइन करेगा कि वो हम लोग
अच्छा,
सिंगल कौन सा लेके आउटपुट
वो
करें?
हम बाद में बताएंगे, बहुत सारे चीजें धीरे धीरे सीखेंगे। हाँ हाँ बोलो।
VS Code पे ये comfortably हो रहा है, but on when we access Ubuntu we only see the terminal. ये जो GUI आपका दिखा रहा है वो अभी तक दिखाया नहीं है। VS Code में चल रहा है, but just curious है।
वर्चुअल में भाई।
I think we're gonna have to install that. ठीक है। Install. Okay, I'll investigate.
और किसी का कोई इशू है क्या? देखो, सबका एक साथ कंप्लीट नहीं होगा, टाइम लगेगा, किस किसका प्रॉब्लम होगा वो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन करने से हो जाएगा। सबको समझ में आया कि नहीं? कैसे प्रोग्राम लिखते हैं, कैसे कंपाइल करते हैं, कैसे रन करते हैं?
यस सर।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
May I stop sharing?
यस श्योर।
ओके ओके, तो अभी आप लोग सब प्रैक्टिस करो, एक प्रोग्राम करके दिखाओ मुझे।
ओके सर, 2 सेकंड।
आपका रेडी है क्या? किस में किया? क्या ना,
VS Code में किया सर।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, आप जिसमें चाहे कर सकते हो। हाँ, तो मेरा मकसद सबको समझ में आना चाहिए, कौन किस में प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं वो
कोड
मतलब
किसी में भी कर सकते हैं
लेकिन
ना,
आपको
कंपलसरी
लिनक्स
तो
में
नहीं
कैसे
है
काम
वो।
करते हैं वो पता होना चाहिए।
यस सर, यस सर।
हाँ, क्योंकि आप जब इंडस्ट्री ज्वाइन करेंगे आपको लिनक्स ही मिलेगा, विंडोज थोड़ी मिलेगा।
यस सर।
यस सर।
तुम लोग किसको सी पता है पहले से?
सर पॉइंटर तक सिर्फ।
ठीक है कोई बात नहीं। अच्छा सी के बिना और कुछ कोई
सर,
बनता है
Python।
क्या?
पाइथन सर।
अच्छा जावा।
सर PHP थोड़ा आता
अच्छा
है।
ठीक है। जावा किसने बोला जावा? अच्छा आपको क्या कोर जावा ना एडवांस जावा क्या पता है?
this is
नहीं, स्क्रीन शेयर दिख रहा है ना?
यस सर।
हाँ तो आपको यहाँ पर जो दिख रहा है ओरेकल VM वर्चुअल बॉक्स उसको एक्टिवेट करना है, ओपन करना है। मैंने ओपन कर लिया। आपका ओपन हुआ?
सर हुआ लेकिन सर उसमें ऐसा ऑप्शन नहीं है।
नहीं आप थोड़ा स्क्रीन शेयर करो, आपके स्क्रीन पे दिखा देते हैं आपका क्या इशू है। आप स्क्रीन करो, स्क्रीन शेयर करो, दिखा देते हैं क्या इशू है, क्या करना है।
हेलो।
हाँ आपका क्या इशू है ना, आपका वर्चुअल बॉक्स सॉफ्टवेयर में लिनक्स का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन नहीं हुआ है।
अच्छा सर तो कैसे करना रहेगा?
तो आपके मशीन में और कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर है क्या सी प्रैक्टिस के लिए?
सर Ubuntu है और फिर VS कोड भी है।
हाँ तो आप VS कोड ट्राई करो।
ओके सर ठीक है तो VS।
हाँ तो बाद में कैसे लिनक्स सेटिंग करते हैं वो देख लेना, क्या गूगल कर लेना।
सर हम डेव भी कर सकते हैं ना डेव में?
हाँ डेव में करो कोई, मैं पहले बोल दिया ना, मुझे कोई इशू नहीं है। आपको नॉलेज पता होना चाहिए, सी प्रोग्राम लिखना आपको आना चाहिए, आप चाहे किस पे करो। मुझे कॉपी में लिख के दिखा सकते हो।
Sir, can I show a program?
Yeah, Shokro.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. So mostly the syntax is the same as so I just constructed a slightly more complex program. Like for example, if I took 4 numbers in series, the difference between C and C++ is this little reference variable that you have to take for each of these whenever we have to scan them, which is kind of strange, but well,
Stop
other than
sharing.
that,
Stop sharing.
okay. Thank you, sir.